bit. Oh god, the ending of Dexter. It just got really it depends on your definition of incest, I guess.
Ooh, I got
But
a pretty broad definition of that. Like, I count a lot of stuff in that pile.
yeah, right? Right though? Like I count kids kids who were raised together but aren't necessarily blood related. It still counts as a little incesty for me.
That's
If you're
fair, yeah.
it's icky. I don't like it.
If you're
So
calling the same person dad, yeah,
see? And that ending, like they're not technically blood related, but it's
yeah. I
so
mean, anytime you have to like qualify your relationship with like with the words "not technically,"
Yeah, right.
you're probably stepping into incest territory.
yeah.
If you have to question it.
It's just
Like, let me like hold on, let me explain. Then yeah, you're there's trouble a brewing.
weirdly enough, I heard about a study that was talking about how if you're estranged from birth, your brain has a larger chance of being attracted to someone you're blood related to if you don't know you are blood related to them.
Because
Humans
they're
were
awfully like
That
you.
humans were
that's
flawed.
interesting.
Yeah, it's
They
yeah,
are a mistake.
it's because your DNA wants to get with somebody who has similar DNA in order to further the bloodline. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, there's coinophilia, and you're supposed to like because you're meant to be hardwired to pass your genetic material, and you are more likely to do that if you are mating with somebody who has a similar genetic material. And all of that is like kind of, and also kind of not really, as you know, so many couples producing children can attest to with very different genetic structures.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the day we do the blood tests and I find out I'm not really Italian. That would be so funny. My life is a lie.
It's a fun one to find out.
I mean, I always knew that I was white, but I found out I was the whitest kid you know.
There you go. And being
And
white can be totally different.
It's true. I am the Nordic Celtic kind of white.
Same. Hence the pure white skin that never changes.
me too, but it
Uh
doesn't
huh.
like it.
Well, it
Well,
does right now.
yeah.
That's true. I'm pretty white right now.
Now it's just the fun thing when they came back and said like you are 99.9% European and 0.1% something else.
Did you did you look up what it was?
No,
Not
no,
human.
it's literally just undecided. Like it's just undefined. They
Yeah.
can't find it. It's just you are 100% white except for this 0.1%, which might be something different.
You know what? They're probably just hedging. They're probably just
Probably are.
in case you like reach back into your heritage and it's like, ah, remember that one guy from Brazil?
They're not even 100% sure on that 99.9. They're like, "We're pretty sure." And you're like, "Are you sure you're sure? Like legally?" And they're like, "No, no. Well, no." Legally, no. Of course not. No.
It's it just feels like the same hedge as like people going, well, but it's like a nine. It kills 99.9% of germs. You know,
Yeah. There's that one super germ.
because if you find one germ legally, you could yell at them.
It's that germ. He's like the guy from 300, and there's like the antibacterial is like the arrows coming down on him, and that one germ is just holding up his germ shield.
My AP bio teacher in high school told us that if we kept using alcohol-based hand sanitizers, we were going to create the superbug that killed the world. And I was like, you might be right, but you don't got to be so dramatic about it. What do you want us to do? We're high schoolers. Do you want us to not use hand sanitizer? It's not the lesson here.
He's like,
Well,
you
if we're
use,
talking about high school,
use hand sanitizer all you want. Just make sure to lick the dirt every day.
Yeah.
lick the dirt.
Just go outside and lick the dirt.
Lick, lick.
Those superbugs are out there. I mean, we're past that. Like, we didn't do that. They've been there since before you were in high school.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't worry about being responsible.
Okay, I didn't take a lot of lessons away from his class.
Yeah, that's fair. It turns out sometimes the high school teachers aren't experts on everything. So,
Oh, damn it.
and those are the people you had to learn all that stuff from.
You gotta learn that they don't know it all.
Yeah.
True.
That's the only, if you go for your GED, that's the only question on the exam.
Did you pass the GED?
It says, do your high school teachers know everything? Do the adults in your life know everything? Yes or no? If you write no, you passed.
Wow.
You made it.
My neighbors really studied hard for that.
That's how they get you. This one's episode number 92. It's called Resistance.
Oh,
It's a fitting title.
yeah.
Where we left off last time, we had just approached the city of Kyrenia and kind of witnessed the carnage that's been taking place there. There is a large encampment outside of the city of Internum forces, and they have also brought with them a flying ship that is docked against the palace at the very top of the city. We've also learned from some of the people that are currently in there that it is occupied. So, for all intents and purposes, at this point, the war is lost. Internum has captured the capital city of Kyrenia. But there is a small glimmer of hope because, and quite literally a small one, because our old friend Sudsy, who I don't think we've seen in maybe 2 years, is currently leading a resistance, an underground resistance in the city. So there's a potential to meet up with him. There are other people that could be in the city or may have fled by this point that you may want to get in contact with when you get there. But for now, you are on the ship. The four of you, Shell and Husk. We also have Arapos, Arvistan's friend from childhood, and the ship's captain, Betty. Betty is waiting for your signal on how to proceed.
So what do you think? Should we submerge the ship, get as close as possible, sneak into the sewers and see if we can't find our contacts?
It sounds like the only possible way, but we're gonna have to go out underwater. Can we open the ship underwater?
I
Is
will
there
look at
like-
Erebos.
Yeah, is there like a hatch or something?
That's a good idea. We probably should have thought of something like that. But yeah, you're right. If we open the doors while you're underwater, then all the water will come in and the ship will sink to the bottom.
Okay, then I don't think we'll be able to get as close as we need.
Well,
Because as
if
soon as
we-
they see us, then immediately they'll attack us.
I don't know about that. We were told if we just use different names, we can maybe get into the city. But if we can breathe underwater, we could probably hold on to the as it goes underwater to get closer. I don't know. I don't know how much stuff we got that we can't carry.
I
I
could
don't
put
think
some
we
tar
have
on you and stick you on the side of the ship.
No,
Yeah.
I think that's the answer.
But that's not necessarily a terrible idea. What if we cast water breathing on ourselves, just jumped overboard with ropes tied to us, and just be dragged as the ship comes
Right.
along? Then we just cut the ropes when we get
Yeah,
close.
or we could just hang on. There is a deck.
think it's like speedboat underwater.
So it doesn't turn into a submarine. We can just hang on to the deck.
That's another good idea.
I don't know what a
Yeah.
submarine is anyway.
There's probably not super strong currents right here. I don't know. I don't know why.
Either way, yeah, I think underwater is a good plan.
Betty will say, "Okay," and then she'll close the door of the captain's cabin and start the process of taking the ship underneath the
No,
water.
wait,
Panic! Criv!
What?
I can't breathe.
Water breathing.
For
Nice.
who?
Everybody.
Just Ravi.
Our post and Betty are going to stay inside the ship. Is anyone else going to be left here on the ship?
No, I'll be on deck to leave.
Okay. So you've got 6 people that need water breathing, and you could do up to 10, correct? Okay. A lot of you
Have
can
fun
hold
with your
on.
birds.
Birds are not great at holding on to ships that are careening underneath the water. So do we have a plan for them? Particularly Husk. Shell might be able to sink some talons into something and maybe grab something with her beak. But Husk is just a little boy.
I'm just grabbing Husk in my hands. I
Okay,
have him in my arms.
that'll do. Is anyone strapped to the ship, or are we just like trying to hold on to something?
Um,
Yeah, I'm weak, so I'm just gonna I'm gonna have a backup rope, probably.
You're gonna have to start tying that under the water. So, Hashite, make a dexterity check.
You got it. That would be a 9.
Oh, a 9 will not get that not tied in time. So as the ship starts taking off, you have to kind of like hold. You're probably tying around the mast of the ship in the middle.
That's fair.
So you're gonna just have to try to hold on to the center mast as you're careening forward. It's not that far, but boy, it's really gonna feel like a long time be holding on to that, especially if you're trying to get exceptionally close, like into the docks district. Is anybody else like trying to strap on, or are we all just like grabbing something?
if there's railing on the ships, I'd probably like wedge myself in between 2 of them.
Okay. Robbie will get stuck in.
Yeah, I think I should be good. Just grabbing something. Just
Arvistan I'm the least concerned about. He's very accustomed to being
yeah.
underwater and moving quickly. Kriv, you got any special plan or?
Just hold on.
Okay. Well, everybody make a strength saving throw then.
Whoa.
5.
5's not good.
13.
14. Ho ho.
Natural 20 for a total of
Wow, a nat 20?
yeah, 22.
A
Okay.
total of irrelevant.
Arvistan with a 22, you and Husk have no problem. Let's just make sure that Shell is. Oh, yeah. Shell is fine. Shell actually just digs her talons into the deck of the ship and like breaks through in between a couple planks to just like
Nope.
like a scared cat, like sinks in as moving. Ravi, you can't hold on very well, but you're wedged in position means that the current as the ship is rushing by just kind of forces you there. If you think like the carnival ride where everybody's like backs up against the wall and it spins around really fast, so you're just kind of stuck where you're at as the ship is moving.
Excellent.
Craven Agite, no. You lose your grip and just kind of slip off. It's not that tragic of an event to happen. You can feasibly swim or even just like walk on the bottom of the ocean to get to where the city is. It was within sight when you submerged, but everybody else is on the ship, propelling forward ahead of you.
All right, my cat's knocking things down.
So yeah,
I need to catch up.
Ajta and Kriv, what do you want to do?
I guess I'll just take a stroll.
How's
That's gonna.
Hajite's ocean phobia doing?
I feel like at this point, you know, we've hit a burning the house down kind of vibe where it's like, it's just no point. Just just deal with it. It's burning down no matter what, so you're just gonna have to ignore it. Just accept your fate.
I see. Well, there's still going to be some measure of difficulty. But Kriv doesn't have any problem with the ocean in general.
Says you.
As far as I know. Arvstan, you're kind of like put your back up against the captain's cabin. So you're like the person like sitting on the hood of the car as it's careening down the highway. Just kind of staring forward, feeling the water rush past you. It blows back your hood and your hair and everything. It feels like just the wind rushing by. So you're having a good time. Ravi's not. He's getting all cramped up in his little tucked in spot in between the rails. Had to crouch down and then like bend over to get himself wedged in properly. So just kind of stuck in a contorted position. But it's better than if you had your armor on, because that would have pinched you and ached you in terrible ways. So Ravi and Arvstan will reach the city in probably about 5 minutes. Kriv and Hajite, it could take you closer to 3 hours.
I don't know.
Once
We
once
have
we
like
get to the dock, can I like go back and see if I can find them and help them move forward faster?
You could, but it'll take you a long time to go back and then the same amount of time to bring them back.
No,
With the
okay.
added,
know,
you won't be able to move as fast with them trying to return.
do we know how long the ship can be underwater?
Like an hour. That's like about the range of what it's capable of. But it took the ship 5 minutes to get to where it was dropping everybody else off, so it wouldn't take it very long to return. But who knows?
We should probably hurry up. I can wild shape and theoretically move us quicker. I don't want them to be stuck waiting and then not be able to get hidden or out of range quickly.
I can get a hold of Betty.
And I can also turn into a dolphin.
That sounds more fun.
You just gotta be able to hold on to a dolphin. I can't find a card, but I'm assuming dolphin's faster than me, so
Yeah,
for sure.
you could swim pretty quick. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't have to hold on for very long because hopefully, if I fall off, you could just turn around. That's something you'd notice faster than a ship, I think.
We'll find out.
That would. So are we going to wild shape into a dolphin?
Yeah.
Carry
Sure, you don't
Hajite
want
the rest
to
of the
do
way?
giant octopus again?
I don't know that that's faster than dolphin.
Not
I
really.
know I want to.
I have no idea.
It won't be faster, but you will be able to help Hashite.
Okay. Kriv and Hashite will be quickly trying to catch up as they make their approach. Armstead and Ravi, I need perception checks from both of you.
18.
12.
Okay. Ravi, a little harder for you to see. You got your neck crane. It's going to take you a second to get dislodged from your position. Arvistan, um, the approach of the ship underneath the water, it's not as obvious as a ship approaching above the water, clearly, but you can notice above you on the surface that it has generated something of a wake, right? So there's like
Oh,
a little waveform coming with the ship as it's traveling underwater.
okay.
So you're not certain if that's going to alert anyone, but it could potentially.
Uh, Betty, are we going? We gotta slow down a little bit if we're gonna go underwater and get as close as we can. It's making a wake on top of the water, so just if it's possible to go a little bit slower, it'll be pretty helpful and see if it doesn't leave any wakes.
Okay, Betty can't speak right now. She's in an octopus form in order to like maneuver this whole thing. Um, so you're not certain. She can't respond whether or not she heard that request.
Yeah.
Um, but you don't seem to be slowing down too much on the approach. In fact, it's not really you're not really decelerating at all. And the closer you get, the more nerve wracking that becomes until you can kind of see the wall
Yeah.
of the city, like the stonework that makes up the edge of the dock itself, rapidly approaching in front of you.
Oh boy. I sure hope we don't crash.
Betty is going to very quickly turn the ship. And then Arapos will yell at you from below decks. He'll say, "She's not going to slow down, man. Terry, get out the ship."
Say what?
You're going to have to turn up, man. She's not going to turn up for you.
I
Uh,
look at Robbie and like, Robbie, did you understand anything he said?
was I able to get myself unstuck?
Not with the ship moving.
Well, I mean, once the slip spins, does it come to a stop? Am I able to then?
She's not
Or
going
actually,
to. She's not going to come to a stop. She's trying to turn very quickly and get back out as quickly as she arrived.
all right. Well, in that case, as soon as the momentum of the ship turns in such a way that I'm now like going with the momentum as opposed to in between it, can I like shoot out?
You can try. Let's make a strength check to get out of that position.
Quick, grappling hook.
16.
16. Okay, that's probably enough to get you separated from the ship itself. Still kind of moving towards Granny, but you decelerate very quickly without that
Yeah.
propulsion behind you. So, obviously, you see Ravi dislodge and pop off. Shell does that too. Follow Ravi.
I see that like, I look at Hus. You ready, buddy? And I just jump off as well.
Okay. The ship keeps moving. You hear Arapos from below decks in the distance. And it starts
Sure.
taking off away from you.
He's harder to understand than fish shaman.
For real.
You can hear footsteps on the piers nearby. Several figures like rushing out onto them. It sounds like running. sort of in the direction that that wake was heading, and they're just kind of like following after it.
I will swim farther down.
Okay, yeah. We can get all
Follow.
the way down to the bottom. There's still light. It's not deep enough to, put yourself totally in the dark, but it is deep enough that people that are above the water won't be able to see this far down to see what's going on down here. Plus, you've got like reeds and kelp swaying around down here that you could mask yourself with pretty easily. But Hajite and Kriv are not here yet.
How long is the water spell for?
24 hours.
Yep.
I'll wait for them.
Yeah, I think that's the best call. Plus, I want to wait because that's less likely to draw attention. People will get bored after an hour or two.
Okay. You can both make a quick investigation check just to get an idea of your surroundings.
I'm actually usually pretty good at those.
19.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Never mind. I was thinking of insight. 13.
Okay. Still not
Got it.
terrible.
Got an 18 plus 1. 19.
I understand you've actually hung out in this area before.
I slept in underwater as well.
A long time ago when we were first in Karenia, you were sleeping down here. So you kind of try to get an idea of the lay of the land and exactly what position you're in relation to the city itself, up above the water. The most important note to make is where the sewer entrances are. You're not super far away from them, but you will have to move a little bit to get to where they are at. You also think that while you can stay hidden here in the kelp for a very long time, if necessary, that when Kriv and Hajite come, you're going to need to do something to be able to signal where you are so that you can catch up with them again. So what do you have in mind?
I just like look around like, so what do you think we should do to signal them to move over around here whenever they reach us?
Can you see them? I can't see them.
I can see fairly far, plus I have underwater as well. It's kind of darkish, so I have dark vision as well. So I can I can see them, but what can we do to like let them know and guide them? Like anything in mind, guide them towards us?
I think you just kind of swim out there, at a medium depth, just kind of waving your arms, because I believe one, if not both of them, also have dark vision.
Okay. Yep. Okay. That
I don't want
that
to light
sounds good.
anything down here because I think that gives us away real quick.
All right. I'll do that then. As soon as I'm able to catch sight of them, I'll just swim towards them and let them follow me.
Okay. Well, probably won't take very long for them to catch up to where you're at. It's significantly more time than it took you to get here. When you go to swim out Arvistan, I want you to make another perception check.
That's 15 plus 7, 22.
Okay. You can see Kriv and Hajite approaching. They're at about mid depth where Ravi was recommending that you stay. But you can see that between you and them, there are several fishermen working. So there are a couple of small boats up on the surface of the water. Some of them are casting nets, and some of them have lines down in the water with big hooks on them.
I swim around them and as fast as I can and go forward towards Curve and Hashite
Okay.
and guide them around. Like I'll go more into depth so I don't leave no wakes whatsoever.
Give me a dexterity saving throw.
16 plus 4, dirty 20.
Okay. You've got to graze past a few hooks and dive down below some nets. It's not the best spot for fishing. These are some of the poorer fishermen that just can't afford to go to more lucrative areas. So they're just trying to get whatever they can. You've got to swim over one lobster trap that has kind of like a one kind of like half-sized lobster in it. Uh, it kind of makes eye contact with you as it's getting pulled up as you swim by. And you catch up to not Kriv and Hajate, but Hajate riding a dolphin.
I tell them to go as deep as they can and move to the left side away from everything else and follow me.
Okay. That way. That way.
Okay. Swim down and around as you get over to the kelp where Ravi is staying. Shell has taken note of some of the bait on one of those hooks.
Mm.
And she's kind of like flailing. She's not the best swimmer.
I notice.
Ravi
Do
is
I notice
holding
what
her
she's trying to?
leg, like her tail feathers.
Do I know? Do I notice what she's like going towards to?
Yeah, it's just like a worm on a hook.
Okay, I just grab a knife, cut the line, and take the worm out of the hook and just take it to her so she doesn't fuck it up.
Okay.
Encouraging her.
That's smarter than what I was gonna do.
You cut the line, you'll see the little bit of fishing line just quickly get pulled back up to the surface. Shell eats the worm and the hook.
No,
Mm.
no, I took it away from the
Oh,
hook.
okay. She would have eaten both easily.
Good to know.
And
That
I
checks.
give a little piece to Husk as well.
Okay. He eats it greedily, swallows a bunch of seawater at the same time.
That can't be good for a young bird.
He's fine. He's
Yeah,
fine.
I didn't think about this. Hopefully he'll be fine.
Oh, how do we get in?
Do I remember where the entrance to the sewer is from this point?
Arsene just rediscovered it as you were waiting.
Okay.
Yeah. I just tell them, follow me, guys, this way. And we
Follow
head
him.
towards the entrance.
I'll
Okay.
stop being a dolphin.
The grate that marks the entrance of the sewer is above the water level. There's about 5 foot difference from like the surface of the water to where like the base of the opening into the sewer is.
And it's still like midday, right?
Yeah.
How close to the pier is this grate?
It's not very close to where the pier or like where anyone's going to be doing any business. It's kind of shunted off to the side. At least this main grate, the one that you went in before when you were first here. So unless it's being guarded or watched or serviced for some reason, you shouldn't expect too many people nearby it. But you don't know what's going on with Internum here. All bets are off on those fronts.
We could use water walk to fire ourselves out of the water.
Or we
Or
could
we
just
could
use water walk
swim.
to get to the thing and just stand on top and just climb. We can do that too.
Yeah, but that's a lot less fun.
That's fair. You are right.
We're not
It
here for
might be
fun.
better that it's midday, because we kept being told that internum would like attack at night and stuff, right?
That's
If
what
we
we
were
were told
active.
originally, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, we know the water rises, because I remember, may not remember much, but I remember when we were here the first time I almost drowned.
Not good times.
So what? We want to wait till The tide rolls in.
Do I see like a lot of people just in the docks?
It's hard to see like because you're in the water looking up, so, and there's like the wall of the docks that prevents the water from flooding the city, and then there's the surface of like where all the buildings and warehouses and everything and where people are. So you're like looking up at this wall and everybody's on top of it. So from your angle, you can't see how many people are up there. There's nobody on the edge looking over.
Hmm.
If you want to understand, you could slowly swim up, just peek your head out and see if, like, get as close to the rocks as you can and observe it that way.
I can give it a. I'll swim around the docks and like feel for where I can sense lesser people, and I'll pick from that point.
I'm gonna need 2 checks then, stealth and insight.
Okay, so stealth. Stealth it'll be a 23.
Okay.
And insight, you said? Insight
Yes.
plus 3. That'll be a natural 20 plus 3, 23. God damn, I'm rolling high today.
On
But
fire.
whenever it's more important, I'm
Yes.
roll shit.
Let's burn them all now. There's only
Yeah,
so many critical rolls in
come
that.
on, man.
Um,
I don't like this.
what's the breadth of your examination here? Like, are we trying to go across the entire district, like the whole harbor, and check
So it's
everything, or are we
no,
like
no.
trying to
So it's
focus on this area where this
this
entrance
area
is?
specifically that is close to the entrance that we need to pass through,
Okay. You
and the dock on the other side.
you take a look around, trying to find like what kind of presence there is, examining this sewer entrance. Um, the one piece of good news that you get is that it doesn't seem like anyone is particularly interested in that. But you will also see. I don't. Has anyone seen someone from Internum yet?
No, we haven't that we know of.
Okay, so Arvestan, you're getting the first look at the people from Internum.
Oh, okay.
Um, you might potentially describe them as sickly. They kind of give you that impression. They're extraordinarily pale. Their skin is almost translucent. Even from this distance, you can kind of see some of the veins crossing, like underneath on their face. You can see that they have very pale eyes and pale shades of hair. You can tell most of them by the armor that they're wearing. They wear black armor. That kind of differentiates them from Corenia, which has sort of like a grayish blue kind of tint to their army. There are, at least here in the Docks district, you could see a few dozen of them about. Other than their sort of skin complexion and kind of like the base level of how they operate, they are just as diverse as the Corenians are. As you can see among them, there are humans, elves, dwarves. Um, they also have gnomes, which is pretty rare to find anywhere else. There seem to be like, percentage wise, quite a few more of them than you might expect. Um, there are probably a dozen, maybe 10 or 12 that are on the nearest pier, that are sort of milling about amongst themselves, closer to the edge of it. These are the ones that ran out on the pier to sort of check after that wake as it was approaching and went away. That's a very mysterious thing. It doesn't seem like they understand what that was. And they're at this point trying to determine if this is something that they need to be concerned about or if this is something that they should be reporting to their superiors. So they're trying to come to that decision right now. and they're discussing that amongst themselves. Then there are about 4 or 5 that are rowing out, and they're conversing with a fisherman on his little rowboat, who was telling them that he had a fishing line in the water and the hook was separated from it, which is atypical. The line broke, and he said he didn't have any resistance or anything. It just kind of snapped. They're sort of talking to him about that. Other than that, there, at least from this viewpoint, you can see maybe 8 or 9 that are up in the docks themselves. They're going in groups of 4 or 5, just kind of keeping an eye on things. They almost look like a police presence. And other than those internum troops, there are also just the regular Karenians that were at the docks before. Most of them are just sort of cautiously and tensely going about their normal business. There is not much coming in. Most of the ships that are docked in here at the piers seem anchored and stuck. They're not going to go anywhere.
Do I see anything or a lot of people or not a lot of people walking around or through the entrance?
That don't seem particularly interested in that, but there just is a presence. You'd venture to gather that as long as you don't make any sound or do anything to draw attention to yourself, that you should be able to reach the sewers and get in without being noticed.
Hmm. And what time is it?
It's around midday. This was very bright out.
Murky water?
Yeah, here in the city, it's almost always murky.
Okay. I go back, taking all these information. I let them know everything, and I say, well, we can we can take a gamble here. We got 2 options. So one is try to go into this sewer as stealthy as possible because they are literally not paying attention whatsoever to this sewage or at all. But there's quite a few people around it. Or we can just sit in the water all day long and wait for nightfall, and we can just go into and at night for extra precaution.
They might not be, that might not be to their disadvantage, though. If they attack in the night, they're probably pretty all right.
Yeah, that
Pretty
well,
solid
that's
after
true.
dark.
Yeah, that's true. But like I said, they're not like paying attention whatsoever to anything around. So I don't know
Then why
what
should we wait? Then we should try to go now if we can.
that's what I'm saying. Like it all depends on what you guys want to do. That those are the 2 options that we have right now.
Do any of them seem suspicious up there?
Not really. They're just minding their own business. They're just like walking, doing their day-to-day stuff.
I say
Say
we
we
go for
go
it.
right now.
Yeah.
How do you want to approach?
I'm gonna take out my shield that helps with the stealth.
If anybody has pass without a trace to help with stealth, that would be nice.
Nope.
And we go in.
I do. I can do cast without a trace. Pass without a trace. I can cast pass without a trace. There we go. We'll get there.
All right. I guess we're just going in stealthy.
How do you want to bridge the 5 foot gap from the surface of the water to the entrance?
Jump.
Jump out of the water? I mean, Arvistan probably could. But that's not something anyone else is really capable of doing.
Hang on, let me see how many creatures I can do this on. Yeah,
Well,
I'll cast Water Walk on the group.
I'll be the last one to pass.
Okay, I need stealth
I'll be
checks from
underwater.
everyone then.
Remember,
What does
you get
Cast Out of Trace give you?
a plus 10.
Yep.
That'll be 27 plus. That'll be 30. 30 what? 17 plus 6. 1 second.
That's
Bad at math. Now 17
23?
plus 4. 17 plus 4. That'll be
21.
21. 31.
31's pretty high.
I got a
Yeah.
26.
18.
17.
Those are all pretty good.
For all those playing at home, that means I rolled a 5.
Shell's got a 16, which comes up to damn near close to 30, so that's pretty high.
Husk is with me, so I
Yeah,
think
you can
that'll.
keep him tucked up.
Yeah, that'll
for
cover
now.
it for him.
And quiet.
Okay.
Right?
I have some bait on me.
If you remember, there is like a staircase that comes down the side of the wall to a little platform with a door that leads into a little side room that goes into the sewers. And just next to that platform is the open entry itself with barred grates covering it. So we're trying to get up onto that little platform to go through the door. Ravi's the first up. He gets there and posts on the edge of the platform with his reflective shield to try to cover everyone else's passage, at least somewhat. The rest of you slowly make your way up. Shell is very quiet, although she is very large. She has never been in the sewers either, so this is kind of a weird new experience from her. This is one of those weird, that very rare moment in time where she was not with your group. And then Arvistan brings up the rear. You guys slowly make your way in and close the door behind you. And it seems as though no one is any the wiser. Now, who remembers their way through the sewer?
Man, I sure did draw a map of that I sure did get destroyed.
That sure was before I started drawing maps.
Okay. Fair enough. All
I
right.
I remember that Arvistan said the sewer smelled like crib, and I got angry about it. Is that helpful?
I mean,
Yeah.
if we're ringing those bells, that means he was pretty racist at me too at that point.
Yeah.
It was a different time.
Anti-snake person.
Can we do random checks to see if Crib Deja Vu remembers the sewers?
Can I be perfectly honest with you? I think even if you did remember the sewers, that you probably wouldn't remember the way through the sewers. But that's okay. Because we don't actually, at this point, know where in the sewers you're trying to go anyway. So, I've got the map in front of me. And I will ask you which direction you would like to go at every junction.
Actually, hang on a sec. I'm going to send a message to Jade.
Okay?
In the big grate of the sewers, where do we go from here? By the pier.
Let's see. she will say, we're at a big intersection. There's a cistern in the middle. I think you can just keep going forward. I'm not from around here.
Send a
It's the
message
worst.
to Sudsy since he's the one guiding all this stuff and he knows the sewers. Isn't it that better?
Well, Jade said we just have to go straight, so we can try that for a little bit, and if we get lost, then we can ask Sudsy, or if you want, I can just burn another spell. It's not that big of a deal, but
No, let's just try it first.
all right.
Okay. First intersection is four-way. So you've got the way you came, a way straight forward, a way off to the left, and off to the right.
We go straight.
Straight on through. The next one has a path forward and a path to the left.
We go forward.
Okay. The path forward curves around to the left as you take it until you wind up in another four-way intersection. From here, from the approach that you've made, you've got a path forward, one off to the right, one off to the left.
Can I listen down the right hallway? Is there anything like making any sound?
Make a perception check.
We look for footprints.
In the poo.
It's dirty water and stone.
Ooh.
21.
21. You hear water moving.
Sick. Let's make a right.
Okay.
Right it is.
Okay, you take a right, proceed down this path. It's very straight until you come to another four-way intersection. So forward, left, or right from here.
Forward.
Okay.
Is there a is there anything in the ceiling indicating perhaps maybe not something directional, but perhaps like exits? And
Not so far.
cool. This is exciting.
You head straight forward. This leads into another curved path that curves off to the left again. I guess, yeah. I'm not in a mirror. Left is still left for me and for you. The junction that leads you to only has one other exit, so you keep going forward from there. You reach another junction that does not have a forward path. It has a path to the left and a path to the right.
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 We gotta be consistent so we can remember if we have to backtrack.
You head right and head down a straight path again before you come to another junction. From here, you can go straight forward or off to the left.
Forward.
You head
I'm
forward.
forward.
Yeah.
You reach
Was it really
another
significant?
junction. This has only one exit, so you continue forward again. Here we turn off to the left once more. Reach a junction that goes either straight forward or off to the right.
So this is where we just were, correct?
No.
Okay. Never mind.
We didn't go in a circle. I've purposefully made it not a circle. In hopes.
Forward.
All right.
Straight forward from here leads you to another junction that does not have a forward path. It either goes left or right.
Go right.
You head right down a straight path that leads to a dead end.
Help!
Damn.
Back to the left.
Maybe it's a magic wall. Maybe it's lying and we gotta get through it.
I would like to turn around and go straight through that first intersection.
Okay, you turn around when you reach the next junction. Instead of turning off to your what is now your left, you head straight. This gets you to another junction that only has one exit, that is to the left. You go in there, and the whole thing veers off to the right from this perspective. gets you to another junction that also has an exit on the left. You go through that straight path and reach one that has no forward movement, and you can either go left or right.
Left. Left.
You head left and continue straight through the next passage until you reach a junction that only has one exit directly in front of you. You go through there, it veers off to the left as it goes until you reach a junction that has a path straight forward and a path to your right.
You want to go to the right?
Sure.
You head right. You travel about 60 feet before you come to a large open area with a cistern of water pool in the middle. You can see across on the other side of that water that Jade, the Orcish bard, is standing with a group of people. She turns, looks up from them. They're kind of huddled around a table, and she just waves at you,
Nice, we made it.
beckons you over. Those of you who have not lost your memory would recognize this as a place where you fought the Crocodris.
Nice. Oh, good old bees memories.
Yeah, I mean, I would move pretty quickly to get over there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Sudsy has a decent little resistance here. Gathered around the group includes Sudsy himself, his friends Splits and Bumper, Jade, obviously, we've already talked to, a couple of members of her theater troupe, Daku, the leader of the troupe, and Intoxica, the makeup artist.
Oh.
We also have Petey, the little boy that robbed, I think, Hajite at the very start of the campaign.
Yeah.
We have Andoril, the blacksmith. He's a young man with dark curly hair. You've talked to once, I think. Baloth, who's the Omni. He's sort of like a bear rhino. He was an alchemist.
Oh, yeah.
So you bought potions from. And Lurk, who is, I believe, the only surviving kobold from when you first came to this place. And they had sort of taken charge of the sewers.
All right, hello, old friends.
So to be the one to speak. Some of them are sat on like stools or bits of stone from when a lot of stuff got turned into stone way back when. But he has to stand next to the table to be able to keep his head above the surface of it. And he crosses his arms and he looks at all of you and he says, "Well, that took you long enough."
Tafel is a very big place.
Don't know what you'd be doing up there when you could have been here helping us. But I won't make a big case out of it.
Well, I do have a bit of good news. An army coming.
Yeah, we knew about that one. Already got in touch with them. We got flying pigeons that can talk to people too.
You're impressive as always, Sudsy.
Wouldn't be able to have this kind of group get together if there wasn't any chance of winning. And there isn't any chance of winning without having another army. So, there's still a few days out yet, but we can't count on them to do everything. I assume everybody is familiar with the plan?
Nope.
Nope.
Can you tell us?
He was a little side eye at Jade. And he said, "You were supposed to tell him what the plan was? I thought you was the one talking to him. She's like, I barely was able to tell him that to come here. They don't let me talk very much.
Yeah,
Everything's got to be really short.
the spell only gives you 25 words, Sudsy.
Some kind of magic that is. Well, get around. Take a look at the map, Bear. He says, okay. Here in the Docks District is where we are. Some of us, the internum, don't know about. Some of us, they do. They've got some kind of big ship parked right up here at the top. The Queen is in the ship as we speak. She sort of led the troops herself. Although I don't know if it's really leading if you're in some kind of big ship that flies above the ground anyway. We got some word off the street that could be useful. Petey. And then he goes, signals over to Petey, and Petey speaks up. And he says, yeah, I was playing with my friends, and I was playing, and then I heard some of the soldiers talking, and they were saying that they were sad about fighting. And then I was listening to them when I was playing. When my friends and when we were playing, and they said that they'll do whatever the Queen says. That's enough, Petey. I don't have enough patience for you right now. So I'm going to take it from here. The soldiers from the internum are not happy with the war. They gotta listen to the Queen. And if they don't gotta listen to the Queen, then they're not gonna be fighting very well. So, way I figure it is, the only thing that we gotta do is get rid of the Queen.
Do you have
I like
any
the plan.
idea? Do you have any idea how to get to the Queen without being seen?
However, we gotta get to the Queen. You're gonna have to get to the palace, get up to the very top, and then hitch a ride up onto that ship. She's sitting up in there. We ain't got a lot of time if we want to save the people she's got up there.
Save the people she got up there. What are they doing, like daily execution kind of things?
They've kidnapped the Council of Kyrenia. They're holding the people hostage with their lives. So far, we've lost 2.
I assume one of them is Peakrid.
I guess that's pretty fair to assume. She's kind of a weak-willed thing. So I'm not super impressed that you guessed that one. But the other one lost is Talon Lintoko, the leader of the council. We don't know who's next up on the chopping block, but it could be the boss, and we can't have that.
Well, I'm obviously down for doing whatever to try to save the city. If possible, I need to get some armor, though. Mine was disintegrated.
Well, that's not great news. We've had a shortage of armor since we haven't been getting the iron. Noticed that you didn't solve that problem neither. But I suppose these guys coming in got themselves some armor.
That's actually a good point. We can take it from them.
We've got to try to keep a low profile for as long as we possibly can. If we're going to take armor from somebody, then that person is going to report that. And once that word gets out, they'll be on to us. So, if that's what you're going to do, try to do it quick. And right before we get to the rest of this.
Do we have any idea what the guard situation is around the palace?
The palace itself has a regular contingent, pretty simple patrol. They're not expecting much resistance, and they haven't had much. At least not yet. There's also a significant guard placed in the temple district around the Temple of Luciriel and the Temple of Tenegriel.
Why around Luciriel?
It seems the cleric there is being kept prisoner. Some of these
And
guys are fanatics for the queen. They think it's a goddess reborn.
okay, so that checks out. And then they're guarding Tenegriel for fairly obvious reasons.
Yes, most of them are pretty devout worshippers. Never seen anything like it before, really. But that's not part of the plan. Although, I guess it is useful information. If somebody hadn't been keeping up to speed, might as well have to tell you now. The plan is, most of us here just ain't strong enough to take care of it. You know, I've been running these streets for a couple decades now, but the things that these guys are using, I don't stand a chance against it. But I heard you guys are some kind of like superheroes anymore, so I figure superheroes and assassins are kind of the same thing. So the plan is to get the four of you up there into that ship. Once you're there, give us the signal and we'll create unrest in the city to try to draw out as much of the army to focus on us as possible while you make your way to the queen and take her out.
Now, we do not know what we're doing with. What specifically things do they have that you can't deal with? Like, what's their firepower? What are their weapons? What are they using to beat everybody?
Well, there's two main problems, and they're all centered around these guys using magite in ways I ain't never seen before. They got it built into their weapons, and they got it built into that big old ship. Whatever they did to it is what makes it fly. There's really nothing that we have to answer that. We've also got it built into these staves. Staves? I don't know how to say the word. Staffs? Somebody help me out here.
Staffs is fine.
Staffs. And they could use them just to point at you, and then you're done.
What do you know about the queen?
I ain't never seen her myself. Just the stuff we heard people talking about her. And really, I've been spending most of my time down here. That's why I smell like an armpit. We send a kid up, and the bear, he'll point over at Baloth, who's like asleep at the table. And they come back down here with whatever info they can get. But all of it's hearsay at this point. And she could be anything from, just a lady to God. I can't tell you for certain.
Well, if she is indeed a god, we're going to have many, many problems. As strong as we are, we're not nearly god strength.
If she's a god or a lady, then she's still got the weapons and the army behind her. So I don't think it makes that big a difference.
I don't disagree with you.
Now the question is, and we've been working on this for a little while, how to get you up into the palace.
Well, the sewers go up into at least the noble district, don't they? If I remember correctly.
Well, they do and they don't. You could take them that far, but because of that increased guard around the Temple of Tenegriel, they've put a guard presence in the sewers based on an entrance that they have there from underneath. So if you get up to the Temple District, there's still guards parading around, even down here.
Is it like a platoon or is it like a guy?
Either way, I think it's too much. We got to maintain a secret as long as we can. If we get busted then, it might be too early.
Are there any soldiers with full armor where you can't tell what they look like?
Not the guys out on the street. Maybe some of the higher ups.
We could potentially pose as someone else.
It's a long shot, but I guess it's a possibility. Then Intoxica will speak up. And they'll say, "Oh, honey, listen. If it's just a matter of making you look like somebody, I think I've seen enough of these guys to be able to pull it off. Just as long as we can cover everything but the face, then we can make the face into a canvas, whatever we need it to be."
I knew we could rely on you.
Yeah. But even if that works, you still gotta get enough sets of armor to be able to cover up the rest of you, to look like your soldiers. These guys keep pretty good tabs, so that disguise ain't gonna keep up for very long once they realize certain people aren't in the right place where they're supposed to be.
They didn't by chance bring supplies that you know of like extra suits of armor, that kind of thing.
If they did, they'd probably be keeping it in their barracks.
I assume they took over where the old barracks was.
I know. They kept all that old stuff there. They're storing their new stuff over in the Temple of Freyr.
I mean, I know my way around the Temple of Freyr pretty well. Um,
That's still 2 districts you got to get through before you can even get to it, though.
how close can we get to through the sewers without running into patrols?
We could find an exit somewhere in the trade district. Past that, I think we're risking too much.
I mean, they do have normal people wandering the city at the moment. Are they keeping tabs on them?
They're keeping tabs on what they're considering persons of interest. And I'm not sure exactly who it was who squealed, but users at the top of the list.
I think I know who squealed, but yeah, that checks out.
How convenient.
Especially this guy with the freaky face. That's going to be tough to cover up.
If
Well-
we This guy's
Why, thank you.
just something else. It
I was-
might be inconspicuous enough.
Well, I was gonna say I look a bit different than when I last left here, at least a little bit.
Yeah. Well,
Do they have like wanted posters or something, or drawings to see exactly how well they've matched us?
they kind of tried, but as it turns out, whoever it was that squealed on you probably doesn't have a great look of you.
Oh, that checks out.
That does indeed check out.
Either way, if you're trying to move from district to district, you're going to have to pass a checkpoint, no matter what you look like. And there's going to be an inspection. The road's blocked. If you
Well,
got an idea for how to get past that,
what have they been looking for an inspection? There isn't like documentation, I assume.
there's documentation for soldiers passing through. They got orders. So if they're going to move from district to district, they got to prove that they have a reason to. Most of the rest of us aren't allowed to go at all. So yeah, I mean, you got options, of course. I think the big trick though is going to be moving quick.
Now we're gonna try to time this so when we're introduced to the queen, you guys are making a bit of a ruckus at the same time that the Mochipan soldiers are arriving, correct?
Hopefully that's the plan. But if we got to move before Mochipa gets here, then we got to.
Do they announce the executions like just before, or did you just walk up and there's a body?
The executions are usually public, but security would be tighter if somebody knew about them beforehand. So when they make the announcement, they're probably going to close ranks.
Okay. Well, guys, what do you think?
Every person at this table is a dedicated member of the city of Karenia. We'll do everything we can to aid you in this endeavor. So, if you need help with anything, if anybody here can provide it, just ask.
I do have a question. Our initial reports way back when were that they mostly attacked during the night, which led us to believe that they are extra efficient at that time. Is that the case, or are they far more traditional as far as their like sleeping patterns and patrol patterns go?
Well, I'll tell you, we didn't really have much of a fortified resistance to put up when they came in. They did strike at night, but I didn't get to see them during the day to see if there was any kind of difference. That big ship kind of circumvented everything we had.
That isn't enough, but just for the sake of understanding, there's no other like threats or side issues aside from this very big problem, correct?
This has kind of occupied a lot of my time. So if there's something else going on, well, tough. Listen, I'm detecting some hesitation here. If you're
A
not
lot
in,
of.
I'll find somebody else to do this. Or I'll try it myself.
I mean, you haven't found anybody else at this point. I think we are the only options you got right now. That's just a lot to take in after a lot of stuff that we just passed through. But I mean, I'm in.
I am obviously also in, and it's not about hesitation, it's about doing it wisely. We get one shot, it doesn't make any sense for us to be foolish with our one shot.
If you've got any other allies in the city, they might be worth checking in on. They might be able to help you get a little further along.
I will look at Hazote.
Yeah, I think we have a few people to reach out to.
Yeah, maybe. Um, where, where's the first goal? I guess. Do you want to immediately go to the Temple of Freyr?
Um, I think if the plan is to get me a set of armor, maybe, if we can get me even a basic chain shirt or a breastplate or something that isn't just a beaver skin, I'm fine with bypassing that. Uh,
Yeah, do you have any type of ammo or gear that we can deal with? That we can like that help us out? Any gear or weapons that you have stolen from defeated foes? Like staffs, those crazy staff that they are using or anything like that?
Oh, we haven't defeated anybody. Yeah, we got steamrolled, buddy. They came in
Okay.
and took us out. So, I don't have any extra weapons available for something like that. The little bit that we do have stockpiled, we're probably going to need once you guys get into the ship. As for the weapons they're using, I don't have the faintest idea how they work.
the old
More
barracks with all the old stuff, is that being occupied, or is that just kind of like leaving there to collect dust because their stuff is so much better than our stuff?
They've got a couple eyes on it, but the iron shortage hurt it pretty hard. A lot of that stuff had to get taken out and smelted down to be used for hinges and daily supplies.
Gotcha.
You know if the Internum are relying on any like supplies being brought in, like food or anything?
I'd imagine any army that size probably has to have a supply line coming in. But they're controlling all the routes out of the city, so that's not a problem for them. They're not letting anything come in over the ocean.
How often have they been doing public executions?
Well, Pickard went pretty quick. Uh, that one wasn't public, so I guess they must killed her quiet. She seemed like the kind of sort that wouldn't be able to take to captivity very well. Talon was just a few days ago. Honestly, we're not sure that they're going to do any more, but we're assuming so.
Have you been in contact at all with Ziella?
Nah, she's in prison, Dal. We can't get in contact with her.
Hmm.
Do you get the sense that they care more about just serving their queen than they do ending the war? Like, theoretically speaking, could be like, hey, if you help us, we can make it so you don't have to fight ever again.
they're pretty zealously devoted to the queen. They care more about the queen than the war.
Okay.
If we know any of what magic they're using or any magic we might be able to get our hands on documented, I would be able to help with maybe using some of their magic.
I don't know about magic, so if you can, good luck.
Just to the general audience, we can pick up some of their spells. It might be helpful.
Yeah.
I'm totally down with that. I mean, I'll use every goddamn thing they have against them if we have to.
I'm saying at least I have a pen that could attempt to mimic something.
There's a lot of poison.
Oh,
You said they're susceptible or immune to poison?
They use it?
he said they use it.
They had me making a specific recipe.
What does it do?
It just hurts. Not anything special or exciting.
Lethal?
Could be, if you don't have the fortitude.
Do you get the sense that they're using this as like a torture device or as a weapon?
I'm not sure. I'm just making a lot of poison.
Are they still having you make it?
Oh, yeah, there's a standing order.
For how much?
I'm not really doing anything else.
Do you happen to have any knowledge on where they might be taking it? If it's located in a particular area?
Well, they're not bringing it down to the docks. It's at least going up to the temple, maybe further.
Something feels weird, guys.
It really does.
My point is, if you guys were just making potions, even for the purpose of torture, which would check out with all the other clues that we had, you wouldn't be just doing that. That doesn't make any sense. So maybe they have some sort of weird biology where they use it to, like, I don't know, sustain themselves?
Well, I was thinking if they were perhaps able to. I'm not sure. If they're able to take the water or rations, it would be a lot easier to take down a city.
I don't think
That's
there's that
something that
much.
like frequently use. It would make it seem more impossible to fight back if you're weak.
There haven't been any stories that you guys have heard of them giving this to regular citizens, correct?
Not that we're aware of. They never gave any to me. Petey, did you ever get poison from the soldiers? Um. Well, I they did. They never. They did. They haven't. They never gave me anything.
Okay.
Would they have presumably access though to like, I'm not sure where you guys get your water from here, but
Yeah.
They've got access to everything. They're in control of the city. If they wanted to poison everybody, they could. But I kind of think that if they wanted to do that, they'd have done it.
I mean, and do they have something on you that you keep doing the poison for them, though?
They're in charge.
I guess, yeah.
Did they inquire about your knowledge with poison, or did they already have somewhat of a recipe for you?
They told me how it's done. I mean, for all I know, they might also be making it themselves.
So they're just wanting to mass produce it.
Hmm. I feel like if they could mass produce it, they wouldn't rely on one guy somewhere.
Yeah, the whole thing is strange.
They gotta need him. They gotta need him for it. I just can't imagine what that need would be.
is it pretty general ingredients? Nothing too odd? Anything specific to around here, maybe? Or
Well, I wouldn't say specific to around here, but they're all things I've heard of before.
Have you made a poison like this before?
Like this or this one?
Both, either.
Hmm. I've done a similar process for medicinal purposes, but I wouldn't take something like this.
What was the difference?
Well, before it was tonic meant to help regulate chemical imbalance, and this one, I think it'd probably kill you.
Hmm.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm almost certain they're using this to regulate something, whether it be the translucency in their skin or whatever else. This has to be for them for a non-harmful purpose.
Yeah, and it's gotta be either impossible or lethal for them to handle it themselves.
Yeah. They don't want to deal with it.
I mean, they do seem all powerful, or they're getting juiced up. Well, if that's something they're using for themselves, it might be helpful to us to mess with their stock.
That's
I think
what I was thinking.
I'd have to be careful though if they if they get it straight from Bailoff and they know something's up.
It
They'll
would
go
need
right to him.
we would need something that would happen like a minor change that they wouldn't know until they started using it. My guess is that they don't do it 1 day supply at a time. Uh, and hopefully it has some sort of negative effect on them. But the problem is we don't know what that is or how to make it work.
And we don't know how long it'd take.
Hmm. Bailiff, how much do you provide for them?
Oh, I'm just breaking my back, making it all the time. But it's kind of a tedious process, so we get maybe a barrel full a day.
That's a lot.
Not a lot for an army.
But a day, I feel like that's a lot for a day.
I agree with you though, Arvistan. Even for a, I don't know. I think you're both right. This is probably being used for maybe just like royalty or something like that. It's got to be something special, I would think.
Right.
How is the water? The water here has been poisoned anyway? Are they using this to control everybody?
Thus far, the water hasn't been tainted in any way, if that's what you're asking.
Yes.
They've tried to be as non disruptive to the lives of the citizens as possible, all things considered, not allowing people to come and go as they please. But they haven't invaded homes.
Do we know of anybody who consistently needs to go up into the sky ship? Like a need the queen or people up there may have
Yeah, like one of their guards or one of their
for
important people that
food
goes there constantly.
transfer.
There's probably a few that are coming in and out. From our vantage, we can't tell you specifically who.
Do you guys have any other contacts throughout the city that you are in touch with regularly?
What you see here is the resistance, fella. I don't know if you got more friends somewhere else, but lots of people don't like associating with the docks.
I'm curious about if the queen needs this stuff to survive.
Yeah, that's a good question as well. I mean, we've seen weird shit on our travels, so
But as far as we know, no one has seen the queen. Oh, Lyra might have seen
Alira might have seen her.
her. Mm-hmm. There might be something
Maybe
about her, like that skeleton moth thing.
maybe this is dumb, but do we know what it is the queen wants? If the soldiers are just doing as the queen says, does she just want like the territory? Is she just expanding? Or do we know if there's something else? I know we're gonna stop them no matter what, but that might give us a little any information can be helpful.
Right.
If they're so much more advanced, is it just land that they want? What are they getting out of this?
Are they
What's
consistently moving out of here?
what's the queen getting out of this if the soldiers don't want to?
I don't know. Queens seem crazy to me.
I don't suppose they've told you guys why they've decided to occupy the city, have they? Other than just they can?
You know, to be honest, I haven't had a lot of conversations with my invaders. So I'm not sure why.
I was more curious if they were making like royal decrees or something like that, but okay.
They don't seem really interested in what we're doing.
If they moved out of the mountains fairly quickly and then moved here and stayed here, There's got to be something they're looking for here rather than continuing to take over more land, I guess.
Could be, but they haven't been here very long yet. I mean, if you wanted to think about it, once you're taking control of Karenia, where else are you going to go?
The only other way is going to be across the ocean, unless you're heading to Tarsaria.
Mm-hmm.
Crossing the sea is a pretty big trip.
Especially with an army. And they don't seem to have any ships. It's not like Karenia has a wealth of ships.
Well,
Now
do you
my
think they
question,
know that Tarsaria is not worth the trip?
my question is, like, where did they find all that magite? That's a lot of magite that they need to be able to fly on a ship. And for all the weapons that they have, like at least the one that we found that we converted into the spear, at least that size, Robbie size, must be used probably for that ship. Where can they get something like that? That's the big question as well.
I mean,
Never
for
seen that much outside of Bochipa.
Well, we also know a piece
originated
that
from
big
Java.
can be exploded, right? I mean, we don't know how they did it, but that one at Yoimi's farm.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's got to be bigger than that. Maybe.
Probably.
I don't know.
I mean, if we could find a way to destroy a bunch of Maggot at once, it could potentially be like everyone's holding a small bomb.
But if everybody's got a bomb, won't they explode?
Oh no, that's the point. If every soldier's got a bit of Magite on him.
Maybe if every soldier's wearing the staff, they do have a bit magite on them, so
And
they
even
are
if it's not
penetrate.
like a bomb, it would destroy their weapon.
Yeah.
Soldiers aren't, the Internum aren't the only ones with Magite in the city. There's other people, regular people, that might have little pieces for this or that. It could hurt a lot of people. Not to mention, an explosion might blow up the city I live in.
I wasn't using it as a guarantee. Just a point.
It depends on how big the explosion was.
Or how directed we could use it. If we could potentially just direct it at the spaceship.
That
Well,
doesn't help the council on board, though.
how did
Yeah.
you blow it up before?
We didn't.
We just know that it can blow up.
Well, I think we should table that idea for now. I'm not looking to explode the people I'm trying to save here.
Did we specify how many people they have caught up there?
As far as prisoners, we know for certain that they've got the council. Maybe some of the attendants and aides in the palace. I don't know what's going on in the upper district. We haven't heard any word from there. So those guys could be in trouble too.
Okay.
I don't suppose I would have any friends in any of the upper districts, correct?
You killed your uncle, and your mother and your sister fled the city a long
Yeah.
time ago, so they've been gone. Considering your past, I don't. Even if there are people that you knew there, they're probably not your friends.
Oh, I have a friend in the upper district.
Yeah.
I had tea with her. Wonder if she's still alive. We could get a hold of her, but that's just a teenager. But I guess that's just a little boy, so
I mean, he's looking big though, a little bit bigger than when we saw him last time.
Yep.
My mom says that that if you want to get to be strong, to be big and strong, that you have to eat all your vegetables.
That's largely true. And I'm sorry that it is true.
I eat a lot of carrots. I don't like them.
so I think at minimum we could reach out to Rita.
It's worth a shot.
See if everything is okay, I guess. Not sure why we would particularly need to go to that district, though. Not that it's bad, it just might be more imperative to reach out to other people first.
If you're gonna get to the palace, you're gonna have to go through the upper district.
I think she would.
Just, I would just say be very mindful of what information you use to ask people. You don't have to say, hey, we're here. Can you give us info? You can say, just, what's happening in the upper district.
All right, well, you want me to do that now? Or you got any other plans?
I don't.
I was kind of hoping that maybe we could get the mission underway. Is this something you guys just want to sit around and talk about forever?
Well, you said there's still 3 or 4 days out, right?
The Mojipans are, but the execution probably won't be.
Well, we have people to reach out to still.
Yeah, the problem is if we can't go out there without, well, I can't go out there, or as I shouldn't go out there without armor of any kind.
You guys don't have another plan to get through? Maybe get around people?
The problem is that I'm coming across is we don't know if they are actually better at night, right? So my thought process was if we get a grapple hook, we sneak our way into the temple district, we grapple hook our way up to the uh, uh, upper district, we just climb up like the side of the walls and try that way. But if we don't know if they see better in the dead of night, we don't know when the best time to do it is. And if we try to do it during the daylight, we're almost certainly going to be caught, right? Which will leave our only choice to do it at night. Which again isn't necessarily a terrible idea, but if we're playing into their advantage, I think we put ourselves at a great disadvantage, especially when it comes time for you guys to create ruckus. The more people, the better, and most people would be sleeping at night, which means we want to do that during the daytime. And so
Yeah.
we find ourselves at this kind of crossroads of the exact time to launch said plan.
Not to mention, God forbid, there might be more resistance in other districts. We could probably rival it in multiple areas if we reach out to the right people. Or have the right people be able to stow us away to get through safely so we're not causing a ruckus. The Milani family's a big deal. They could be helpful.
Very helpful.
Once you get there.
Right.
Well,
We also haven't been here to observe everything. The way that
Or
you,
anything.
we don't know anything about this damn city anymore.
Or these people.
I apologize for my impatience, but I've been here the whole time and had to deal with this. And it's not going to get easier, it's going to get harder. Things are going to get worse before they get better. If we wait until Mochipa arrives, we're going to lose the window to save people. That ship's going to take off.
Wait, the ship leaves?
It got here in the first place.
Well, I'm meaning, has it left since it's landed?
Well, no. No, it hasn't. But I gotta think that they'd use it to fight, wouldn't they?
Probably, but we don't know where they're going next.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And that all depends on what the hell's going on with the queen. If she needs to sustain herself here with your guys' stuff, she's not going anywhere.
The Mochipan army is not going to be at its most effective out at sea. They'll probably try to meet them on open water.
So I say, Haz, if you can get in touch with Alira to try to get us. Now, Alira was in the trade district, correct?
She was.
If we can, if you by chance could have Alira get us through the trade district into the temple district, we can try to find our way from there to stop at, whether it be the Temple of Freyr or somewhere else, pick up some things of armor, and from there we can make the determination if we want to try to go tonight to try to grapple hook our way up. If not, we can try to find some place to hide out for an evening.
Okay.
If you guys have a better plan, I'm all ears, but that's the best plan I've got so far.
I got none.
Kriv, you got anything?
Really, I mean, if there was some sort of little, we just need to peek at something, I could maybe sneak in somewhere, like as a mouse or something, if we needed to, like, poke around for if guards are in an area or not, but I mean, I don't know anything much bigger than that. I know we don't have time on our side right now. Just throwing it out there if we need to check stuff, because like you're very right in saying we need to do it smart because we have the one shot here.
If we don't even make it to the ship, it'll all be useless. So.
Very useless.
Okay, well, we'll say Illyra, we are in the docks and need help with passage through the trade district to the temple. Can you help?
Okay.
While she's sending the message, I whisper at Ravi, after all she's done, do you think it's okay to tell her where we are located?
We don't know that she did that.
I will kind of whisper back to him. She seems to have an affinity for Hazate. I don't think she is actively going to try to hurt her. And more importantly, I don't think we have any better choice.
Okay.
Okay. Illyra will respond to you. Dear, I think it best to let this go. The threat from the east is more important. Perhaps we should let them have the city.
Well, I don't think she is helping. um, she says the threat from the east is more important, and perhaps we should give up on the city.
Objectively, she's probably right. Um, but as a Karenian native, um, I don't think I can do that.
And as another Karenian native, I think she could suck my nuts.
I just giggle.
Do you want to let the city go, Hazotai? Like, I understand if you do. It's your home that's being ravaged by a giant unruly monster.
I've learned to not become very attached to places. I don't think I would be very affected losing a second city.
Now, she said that the threat at the east was more important, but I know the judge and all the stuff is over there, but I mean, oh, why is she over there? Is she like heading that way or something?
I think she probably believes that it's not a worthwhile risk of Hazote's life to try and save the city.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, but I think we have a better chance of saving the city than defeating the judge right now. At the moment.
I kind of agree with you. Um, but that's only because of how impossible that task feels, even with this. And I will hold up the spear.
I suppose it all feels like a moot point if we just all die here.
That's true too.
Unless we go like here.
But I don't plan to die here. I plan
Me
to
neither.
save the city.
Yeah, you didn't plan to die anywhere. We've all died.
Oh, that's true. That's a solid point.
We plan to come back, and that's what matters.
uh,
Well, if we need you to save us from some other monster that you're talking about, I mean, If the internum are still in charge, do you really think they're gonna let you help?
I
I
get the vibe that the internum doesn't care about the city. You guys can just continue living, and that's not what they're here for.
Okay, so you're gonna ditch us then, I guess?
We never said that.
no.
We said we were gonna help, and that's why we're here.
All right, so but your friend is not gonna be reliable.
Correct. One of our contacts is not reliable.
Well, have you got anybody else?
We've got other unreliables.
We do have a lot of unreliables. I could try to get in contact with Contessa, but I am not super sure if she's just another traitor in disguise too.
That's
Yeah, I don't think.
the cleric in the Lucerial temple.
Correct.
Yeah, that's no go. She's a prisoner there.
It's okay, so she's an actual prisoner, but she's not like enjoying it. It's actually against her will, unlike Kiara, who is not so much a prisoner, but reveling in this fucking shit.
That's the work of it, I think.
This fucking shit.
Robbie.
Oh. The world hath scorned this child.
Too
Yeah,
many
I think I
traitors have
have.
crossed me too much. It's time to make some people pay.
Woohoo! I like this new Robbie. He's spicier.
I think I only know one person in this city, you guys. You didn't meet him.
Can you reach out to him? We need him.
I can't reach out to anybody.
I think
I
I
would
met him
like.
with you once, if I remember correctly. We like ran across him together at some point.
Yes, you guys did. Yeah.
The Great Jangle.
Yeah, that's my one friend.
How would he be helpful right now?
I have no idea.
Hey, that's the one person I know here, okay? We're just.
Jangle.
I'm gonna flip through my Brave journal for ideas for a second.
We could contact one of the refugees, see if they. No, they're not going to help. Oh no, they were removed from the city. Never mind.
You could give your. You could call your son.
He was one of the refugees, so he got kicked out.
Oh.
Could
I was
call him if you want. I mean,
I was hoping he stuck around somehow.
What about
Well,
Chris Angel? Was he prisoner? He was strong. He's the strongest wizard here.
that's a solid point.
I forgot.
who was?
I forgot about.
Christopher, Chris Angel.
The wizard friend who confronted me during the trial, and I told him that I can do godly magic and you can't copy it, and he got all pissy about it.
He sure did get pissy about it.
I don't think he was shirtless, but I wrote down that he was security shirtless wizard man.
Why would he be shirtless?
I don't know.
All right, well, then he works in government. I don't know if he'd even be available.
We're not sure either, but that we're just looking for people that could possibly help.
Can you manipulate your goth girlfriend, please?
I have 2 other people that you know in the city. They have not mentioned. Or at least people that you've met.
Ghosts.
Is one of them that one like guard?
One of them is a guy named Hamesh who runs a store called #Diamonds.
Yeah.
You bought diamonds.
That's
Hashtag
who I was
diamonds.
I want to
You
hang out.
did not much care for him. You guys were very annoyed by him, so I don't know how useful he would be.
I didn't- Yeah.
Hey,
There's only one other person, which is a weird one.
I do have an old friend here that I owe money.
Yeah.
Yeah, from episode 1.
Oh, is it Ordo? Is Ordo back? What's he up to?
Oh god.
He's scrappy.
He's probably with the Mochiban army.
If he's not with the Mochipan army, I would almost be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either. You know, he always searched for opportunity for anything and everything. So yeah, I bet he is actually on one of those ships coming here.
Yeah, Julia. That was her ding dang name. Julia. The vague rich lady from the Weasel. Got him.
Is it
Um,
Nico? Is it Alira's cat? Can he tell us?
That's what I had written down.
Really? I guess we could reach out to Miko.
He's like a little guy.
Jade will say, wasn't the witch your girlfriend?
Yes.
Why don't you just, like, get her to help you?
Well, I tried, and she wants me to abandon the city.
So you're having an argument. Like, just keep doing that.
Just keep doing that.
You either got to work it out or break it up.
You know, this hasn't been the first red flag, I should say.
I mean, who wears the boots in your relationship? Does she call the shots? If she says you got to give up, then you got to give up?
Hey, listen, Jade, I almost have never listened to a thing she's told me to do.
Oh, that's true.
She sure tells me to do things a lot that I don't do.
Well, you should tell her that.
That I don't listen to her.
That you're not going to.
I think she wants you to give her an ultimatum like either I'm going to do this by myself or you're going to help.
Listen, I'm sorry if it puts a strain on your relationship, but like this is really important.
Yeah. You don't want to be dating a coward.
Call her on the phone. Alira? Listen.
Maybe Miko would snitch on her and tell us where she is.
She's probably at home.
I've been in this
Possibility.
position.
Mystery.
If there's not
Yeah.
enough conversation, if there's not enough communication, you're done for. It's over.
And if they're a coward, they're not worth your time. That's what we learned from our good friend Jade.
And who's
Yep,
being a
yep.
coward right now?
This is not the time.
There's no other time.
Yeah, if not now, then when?
Thanks, Kriv.
About you.
Really? We have no other ideas?
I just don't know why you'd want to abandon this one so fast. Because she said no.
You still have that weird sleep drug? Can
When's
you
the last
confront
time
her?
you guys talk face to face? Just go to her house.
Just go to her house.
Theoretically, we could get there. It's in the trade district.
All right, let's go to her damn house.
Can you get us to the trade district, Sudsy?
Yeah, we got a path there through the sewers. So we could probably get you up without being seen. You might want to cover up or find a back alley or something once you get up there.
Intoxica, can you put in a little work? Make us look a little different?
Oh my god, I've been waiting this whole time. Okay.
Oh my god, no!
Intoxica, I kept your magic makeup. I still have it.
Okay, bring it out. Because I want to be able to use that.
I have a really big robe I bought the last time we were here to hide me.
Well, okay. How does it look?
To help a little.
Is it clean? Is it fashionable?
It's been through the ocean a few times and I've never worn it.
That sounds terrible, honey. I think you should throw that in the garbage. We're already in the sewers.
I am
Just
shiny and
toss it in the water.
It's already been in the water. I want to hide that I'm shiny.
I can do that. Just need a matte finish.
Matte finish.
Are there dragonborn in Turnham? That'd be weird.
Well, if we're gonna...
You still don't know. Arvicen's the only one who's seen any.
And he lied to us.
How did I lie to you?
It was like they're looking around, needing to know if they want to report these weird things, and you're like, "No, they're not suspicious. It's fine. It's all chill."
I know! I set that bitch up.
We don't want to make you look like Internum yet, okay? Because we don't have the armor, we don't have the outfits, so we don't have the costumes to really sell that.
You're right, right.
So
I'm getting ahead of myself.
All right, Intoxica, I gotta look hot.
Of course, honey, I'm not gonna do you dirty and make you look like some kind of like rug bum. But just to be clear, we don't want to turn heads. If we want to turn heads, we want to turn away. So I'm gonna go for like understated kind of, just like girl next door, kind of like, who is that? Oh, just nobody. Saw her at the library sometimes, but then what happens? She takes her glasses off, undoes a couple buttons, suddenly a bombshell. That's what we're gonna work on.
That sounds like exactly what we need.
Now, we got to do something about your hair. So we've got a few options. Because it's dark white, honey, that's going to stick out. So we could do it up and put a wig. We could get a hat on you. We could dye your hair. We could cut it. Those are pretty permanent. And I wouldn't want to do something like that because you've got such a gorgeous thing going on. Although it does smell terrible. So we probably want to do something about that.
We've been in the ocean a lot.
I think a wig might work best in this.
Okay.
Okay. But I'm getting too far ahead of myself. I think we should start with Ravi. The easiest one to cover up.
Yes.
We are expecting a cleric. We're expecting the priest's robes, the armor. You don't have any of that. You're wearing the beaver skin. The disguise is already started. Now here's the problem. Beaver skin like this, obvious.
You are right as always.
There's no way I see that walking down the street and don't instantly think, what the hell is this person?
Oh my god, this is great.
So I'm gonna reach into the costume bin. We just brought some stuff from the caravan. I'll pull something out of there and dress you in it. We don't want any armor. Most of our stuff isn't real anyway, but it would draw a lot of attention if you was wearing fake armor. Um, so we're just gonna put you in some just common clothes, a regular costume that we use for some of the extras. Your hair is a different color, so you're already okay there. Just do a touch of makeup, maybe give just a slightly different tone, maybe a bruise, a nice scar right here. This always gets people talking. If you've got a nice scar, there's a story behind that. Some people say that it mars a person's perfect, beautiful face, but a scar is character. So we're going to do something like that with you. And I think we could stop there because that's pretty simple.
I agree.
Hajite have got a queen's outfit. We could doll you up in that. Put the wig on. We're going to give you a darker hair color. For the rest of you, I hate to do this because you got such a beautiful, natural pattern going. But we're going to have to cover up some of those stripes because that might be some of the more obvious tells for the kind of person that you are. The most common look that we might be finding with someone like us, especially in this area, it's just like a toned down green tone. So I think we're going to go with that. Just to kind of simplify things. I'm going to put sleeves so we don't have to do too much. Put in a nice pair of upper gloves. We don't have to mess with the hands. We can leave the hands as they are.
Okay.
Floor length dress. So we're really just focusing on the face, on the neck, maybe just a bit on the end of the tail. So that's not too much to worry about. Kriv, maybe we dress you like a bush, something that something that can really blend into the background, or we could just put a suit on you, and maybe make you look like a servant. Nobody likes to look at them. Just try to ignore that. Maybe put you in like an outfit to make you look like a waiter. Easy to move around in the background. Nobody's paying attention. Little bow tie, dress shirt, easy.
Sure, sure. The broad skin is fine.
Well, we're putting a matte finish on that, so we're just gonna cover that up.
Okay.
Just tone it down. Make it a little less obvious. You should wear a hat.
What hat do you recommend with the ghillie suit or waiter's tuxedo?
A bush.
I think something in an off-kilter beret.
Ooh.
You're right. Okay.
Very simple cover. And I want everybody to know that this will work in the trades district. There's a lot of people, but once you get past there, these disguises might not hold up super well. A waiter in the temples is not really going to make much sense. This leaves us with our friend, Mr. Arvistan. There's so much going on with you. I just want to say from the outset, I love so much about this. This is such an expressive piece that you've got here. Is there any way that we could? Is there any way we could remove that? That's not okay. You do you, honey. If that's an important part of your identity, then you should maintain that.
Intoxica,
It's my body.
That's his skin.
Yeah, he's just like that now.
It's perfectly fine. You're adorable just the way you are.
I appreciate it.
It's gonna stand out, and what we're working on is trying not to stand out right now. So we're gonna go for something pretty simple with you. Just a pair of base trousers, right? Brown. We put on you a hooded sweatshirt, gray. Little drawstring. The hood goes up, You pull the drawstring, okay? It's cold. You're cold. Hands in your pockets. Okay, do you understand? These weapons, we're gonna need to conceal those somehow. And Hajite, honey, the skulls, that's a no-no. Out on the street, I wanted to say this before, but that's probably not even okay when there's not an invading army. It's a look, but it is disturbing. So if this, we need to be able to do something to conceal us. Just tuck them away. Just tuck them away.
Okay.
If you guys can make, we could put a little backpacks on everybody. You could tuck away some of your weapons. Obviously, I don't know about they're both really big. But walking around with weapons right now is not a good idea. So we need to find some way to conceal that.
Can't promise.
If you get caught with it, this can't be my fault.
All yours.
I'm telling you just beforehand right now.
Is there a way to tie it into a costume to make him look like a hunchback or something?
A hunchback. Yes, you're right. A disability does disarm people. Usually they try to look away. It's hideous. It's horrible the way that people are.
Yeah.
Because it's human beings. You should be able to treat them just the same as everybody else. But that might be useful. Okay. So
What if he just carried a flower pot and made it look like he was just holding flower instead of is one?
It's a wonderful idea. I don't know that that's really going to make, because we're tightening that hood down on him. Maybe we could put just a little prosthetic, like a nostril, something to make it seem like, oh, he's covered. There's more going on that he's covering that he can't. He can't be in public with. So that's why the hood is all the way tightened down. But yes, we'll could work the bow into a hunch. I love that idea. That's terrific. And we could move some more stuff because there's going to be a lot of empty space there, so we could cover up and put some more stuff in there. Maybe a little bird. Yes, and I think that will work just fine. So let's everybody line up, okay? One at a time. I can't do everybody at once. I'm not that good. I'm great, but I'm not that good. We'll start with Ravi. Well, I'll just work my way through.
Sounds good.
Quick as we can. Okay.
Is it completely insane that Shell's coming with?
Might want to put Shell on distraction duty.
Yep.
That's a good call.
Really good at that.
Guys, guess what I just realized was within arm's reach? A beret.
Perfect.
There we go. Who's that? What? Got a brand new player. I don't know who this is anymore. Okay. So this will give us bonuses on charisma checks, right? What exactly does it give you? Like advantage?
Yes, it is advantage.
Okay. So if you get stopped, I would recommend trying to talk your way out of it. Some kind of charisma-based skill to get your way out of there.
Show him our letter that we're diplomats.
That's absolutely the worst thing to do. Sudsy and Splits and Bumper can lead you further into the sewers until you can find a ladder that will lead you up into the trade district. From that, you know where Alira's house is, but you do kind of want to keep a low profile until you get there. So I'll need more stealth checks.
I can do pass without a trace again.
Can you stop being a douche for a second, please?
Fine, you don't get past without a
My cat found plastic. She just found this.
Got it. Good.
That's the cat's favorite toy. So 17.
Plus 10, right?
Yes. Unnatural 20 for me.
18.
32.
32. Okay. So I sneak through the streets of the Trades District. It's one of the more crowded districts, building-wise. So there are a lot of places to duck in the process of getting to Illyra's house, the rest of you will be able to see what Internum soldiers look like, and the black armor that they're wearing, and the very pale, almost translucent skin that they have. Their presence here is felt but not overbearing. So this is not like a main army garrison stage in this district. If they have larger numbers somewhere else in the city, that's possible. But we do know, at least from the approach, that the bulk of the army is outside of the city walls. And the people here are really more like a police force at this point. You get to Illyra's house. It looks like it did when you first saw it. The old witch's house. The door is closed. There's a little bit of smoke coming out of the chimney.
I'll look at Hazarte.
Yes.
That's your cue.
Okay. We're going to walk right up to the door.
What do you do when you reach the door?
I'm going to knock on it.
Okay, you knock on the door. It takes a second. You kind of hear a little bit of shuffling around inside. Then the door opens. Yeah, immediately you don't see anyone, and then you look down and realize that there's actually a second doorknob way down at the bottom of the door.
The cat.
Miko has opened the door and thrust it aside. You could see at the other end of the room, in the sort of kitchenette area, that Illyra is cooking something. And she'll say, "Come on in. I've been expecting you."
Expecting. Okay. And I guess I'll just like, guys, come with, and I'm gonna pick up the cat, and we're gonna walk to the kitchen.
Can I give him scritches?
He's limping Hazute's hand after he
Ugh.
gets picked up.
Baby. I love it.
Oh, kitty.
I will enter, but I'll like give a quick glance before I do.
Yeah, Arvistan. You ever been in this house before?
I was in and I got out for the ritual.
Okay. You coming back in?
I mean, I have no other options, right? So yeah.
Okay. You could all come in. There's like a two-person couch, like a love seat. There are two other chairs in corners on the wall closest to the door. And then there is a larger kind of like wicker bench that is just in front of this kind of like kitchen bar that separates the kitchen area from this like seating living area. So there's enough seating for everyone if you want to sit.
I'll stand up.
Well, if Kriv wants the kitty so bad, I will pass the kitty.
I will take the kitty.
How do you hold him?
Like a little baby.
Yeah, that's the way he likes it. So he's like on his back. He's looking up at you.
Hey,
He reaches up one like ginger paw to touch your chin.
what are you doing, little guy? Can I give him a little scratch?
He leans into them. He wants the corner of the jaw bit. That's his. That's the spot.
Did you have this the theory that Miko was like a real person in a cat body, or did I hallucinate that?
Yeah, no, I think he might have been Cersei. He's just a dude.
Alira comes over with a tray. She has several servings of a simple soup. It's kind of like a chicken broth with a collection of very small noodles, almost like chicken stars, but they aren't star shaped. They're just like little round pieces. Um, it's pretty thin. You can see all the way to the bottom of the bowl.
Well,
So I want to hear about everything. I've gotten snippets, of course, but I assume you were successful.
I suppose we could call it successful.
And what powerful magic did you find in Taufel?
If she nods at me, I'm probably like standing by a window, kind of like looking out the door.
Yeah,
Feel
same.
free to take a seat. There's plenty of room.
I know. I'm just a bit on edge. I've never been inside an occupied city before.
It was occupied by the Karenians before. Most of
Yeah,
them are
but,
still here.
yeah, but this is kind of different. This was taken, and we are not welcome here. So
Quite literally, public enemy number one.
I'm gonna
Well,
take
probably
the
like number
serving
two.
tray away.
Things can change. Please sit. Have something to eat. I know it's not much, but I would feel rude not to offer.
Is it trickier to get food right now?
Oh, and I just haven't been well stocked personally. Yeah, just so excited to hear about what you found.
you okay?
Things could be better, but we're dealing with things as they come. Are you okay?
I'm fine, but you sound exhausted or something. Something weird on your voice that just doesn't feel right.
I spent a lot of time as a council member, and feel like there's been a sort of a burden lifted off having to remove those responsibilities. So just trying to get back into the swing of how life used to be.
How's this going to hug her?
She'll hug you back.
I did wish for the best. I hope you got out of that okay.
Well, I didn't want to stick around for things to get too difficult.
How did you know we were coming?
Well, you just contacted me, told me you were here. I'm certain what I said was probably not what you wanted to hear, so I anticipated that you might have more to say.
It's unfortunate how limited those conversations are.
It's true, but it's at least something.
I will sit down. uh, Thank you for the meal. I guess.
Oh, it's not really much my doing. It's what Miko's old recipe.
Miko sure has a lot of talents.
He hops off of
Yes, he.
Kriv to grab a cup for them and brings it back to you. He blows on it. He goes, and hands it to you.
Yes, I will take it.
Well, I don't think. Are you truly interested in what was in Talfel?
Absolutely. If
There,
that's something you want to discuss.
there frankly wasn't a whole lot to see. It was a bit disappointing, I would say.
So you didn't find what you were looking for.
We found things. Uh, would I say it was particularly what we were looking for? Probably not.
I guess it was all chasing after rumors.
I'm not sure what we expected. It definitely seemed like something too good to be true.
Honestly, I was kind of expecting that, and I point to the direction of the skyship.
Ah, that's, I suppose, somewhat impressive. It's a rather
I hear,
rudimentary understanding of the power that they're wielding.
as in they didn't build it, they just found it.
It's, their application of Magite is sort of crude, physical limitation. Just makes so much of the possibility disappear.
So they could be doing a whole lot more with it.
Well, I'm sure you know, we all here understand that we can use Magite to channel magic, and magic is the true power.
Well, we haven't seen a whole lot of the Internum, but we did hear about their immense and unlimited and unfathomable power.
Yes, they've caused a great deal of Magite to serve simply the purpose of flight.
That's fairly impressive considering how big the ship is.
Well, the size isn't really that much of an issue. But I must admit, their intention seems to have been successful.
Do you know what they were looking for?
I assume they're just conquerors at this point.
That's it?
Don't see why it matters.
Just trying to find out more about them. Um, did you did you manage to set eyes on the queen?
I swapped myself out of the council before they were taken captive. I haven't been inside the ship. I didn't think that I would be able to have any sort of feasible control there.
When we last spoke, I was under the impression that you were with the rest of the council.
I had been with them up until it no longer seemed useful.
And where had Picrid been until then? You were just able to put her there in your stead?
Or there wasn't Picrid I put in there.
Ah,
No, that seems that by a stroke of luck, there were a great number of people in the city that were undocumented. So it was not much difficulty to find a suitable replacement.
I suppose that would make it easier. I know you don't seem to have any attachment to having the city as it once was, but I would rather not see more people lose what my people have lost.
Then I should think that you would agree with me. Your people were lost to a different sort of invader, one that doesn't take prisoners, at least not in the traditional sense, doesn't occupy a city. Some Corenians did lose their lives, it's true, and their livelihoods, but the majority are still here, still living, working, breathing, eating, sleeping, everything that they were doing before.
And at any point, all of that could be taken away from them pretty easily.
It's true, but it hasn't.
Do you believe that they won't?
I believe that causing a significant amount of unrest at this point would likely result in the loss of more lives than a simple capitulation. You are in need of some powerful magic from the continent of Taufel in order to defeat your judge. I hope that you have acquired this.
We hope.
Why not go out and face it then?
As soon as I'm done liberating the city, that's the plan.
Well, I hope you are successful. Because if you should fail, then whatever power you brought back from across the ocean would likely be lost, and the city with it, and maybe the world. Are you prepared to take that risk?
I am. I'll make some contingencies. See if I can't get some help to figure out what to do in the case we should fail. And if indeed these are just conquerors, they'll have to deal with the judge at some point.
Yes, and they haven't made this journey. Might they be considered one of your contingencies? Would it be so crass to suggest that if you were defeated by Internum, that they would take up your power and your cause?
It's possible, but I haven't talked to any of them. I don't know what they want. I don't know why they're here.
It's likely they have just as much knowledge of you, which is dangerous for them. I, on the other hand, am less willing to risk as much. And so I would then ask a favor. Might I be included among your contingencies?
Um, Before we answer that question, I got a question for you. And that is, if you're not wanting to risk as much as you're saying, like we're trying to, why would you want to join us?
I'm concerned for Ajate's safety, of course, and for the safety of the world, which at this moment is tied to your decision. The power that you've acquired to defeat this monster is in your hands. If it is lost to the Internum and they do not understand in time how to wield it, they will fail and it will be lost forever.
Do you know anything about psionic links?
Afraid I don't. Does that have some sort of relevance here?
It does. We believe that the judge is psionically linked to something.
Many something.
Yeah, many somethings, perhaps. And I was wondering if you knew it, then maybe you'd know of another way to stop it, and thus come up with another contingency. Um, you seem to be of great knowledge yourself, so I thought I would ask.
I have a certain degree of magical awareness, but what you're speaking of is something somewhat different. This is the power that you gained.
Ish.
We gained knowledge. It was very helpful.
Which is going to be my next question, is if you knew of any sort of great library where such things could be looked up.
Not necessarily here, it can be somewhere else.
Yeah, not necessarily inside the city. I doubt the city would have it, but something old and out of the way that most wouldn't know.
I'm afraid I don't have any specific awareness. You would likely have to embark on another dangerous journey to find something like that. In the known world, there are very few vestiges of civilization large enough to produce that kind of awareness. I would venture to guess, based on some of the things that I've seen from our invaders, that Interna might have possession of such knowledge. But I think that acquiring that from them now may not be feasible, given the time frame.
I agree with you, which is
Um,
why, as a contingency plan, should we fall, would you consider impersonating one of them to gain this knowledge?
I'm led to believe that the sum of the power that you've attained in Taufel is the knowledge that you speak of. Is this true?
As far as we know, which isn't much, what we have to do is we have to find a way to sever a psionic link. Uh, we did something similar in Mochipa, where these bugs were being implanted into citizens there, and we're morphing them into different beings. We killed the would-be queen of that area, and all the other bugs, even the ones embedded in people, went docile and died. We think that doing something similar would have the same effect on the judge, but we aren't sure. To this point, we believe that these bugs are part of these kind of psionic links. If we can implement the same strategy that we did the first time, in this case, find whatever part of the judge is its would-be heart, kill it, like sonic link to everything else, all of the citizens of Tarsaria would then return to a more normal state.
It sounds to me as if you're more aware of these proceedings than I am.
The problem that we're not entirely sure of is how do we get past a 60-foot person worm and strike at its heart? And that's where something like what the Internum are using, we hear that they just point stabs at people and they die, which if you can confirm that, that would be great. Might be some information that would be helpful.
Yes, it is something somewhat as simple as that, although not quite as dramatic. They're able to fire a burst of magical energy, which indeed for most people is deadly. Um, I venture to guess that someone with a bit more expertise or military background might be able to survive or circumvent at least a few volleys from these machines, but they are powerful.
Did the ship have like a cannon or something on it?
You would have to investigate yourself. Nothing was fired. If there were a cannon there,
Now, you're very close with your god, right? Or your entity that provides your power.
I'm wondering how this is relevant.
Is there a way that you can talk to this god of yours and see if he has any knowledge or information about the psionic links that could help us?
I will, in this case, forgive you your ignorance in the matter. I understand that some of these things can be confusing if you don't have full awareness of them.
Yeah, I definitely don't have any of it.
Um, Simply put, what you're asking is not possible.
Okay. Just thought I'd ask since I honestly don't know how things work.
What plan did you have for yourself?
Oh, should the worst come to pass, Miko and I would leave.
If you got a appetite for the cold, Taufel's always available. Although I don't necessarily recommend it. It is kind of teeming with monsters, but it is technically livable.
It could be an interesting choice. Although there are certain comforts and amenities that I am somewhat fond of. I hear Mochipa is a lovely place.
As a native-born Karenian, if I should manage to survive all of this, the port city we came into, I think, would be a lovely place to live.
Should it come to that. But I think that you might be successful. I should hope, although I think that likelihood would increase greatly if you rearranged your priorities.
I know we don't have a good history and all that, and still have highly doubts about you, but I hope you
Unnecessary to
don't.
say.
I hope you don't take this too personal with the question that I'm gonna ask. But how how or more likely, not how. Ho- oh my God, how am I trying to say this? um,
Couldn't fathom.
how can you confirm us that you're not going to double cross us and save yourself and Hashote the time given and leave us behind? And I'm saying this for the sheer fact that you, like you said before, you're not interested in risking your life as much as we are to try to get things done here. Because I know that you want the problem on the East solved better than this place.
If necessary, I would sacrifice all of your lives to save ours. I don't consider this betrayal.
Now you understand why I'm kind of doubtful.
I've been nothing but honest.
Oh, no, no. I'm not saying that you're not. I'm just letting you know it's pretty hard since all of us here would sacrifice for each other if the time comes to be, but you're just saying that you rather just save your skin instead of help others besides Hashite.
I would rather save the world than this city. If this city and all of its inhabitants should fall as a result of that endeavor, I would consider that cost well paid. If you would like to suggest that stopping the judge without being able to prevent the occupation of Kyrenia does not have the greatest worth, that suggests that stopping the judge after the loss of New Sanctum doesn't hold much.
My argument would be that the 4 or 5 or 10 of us could not stop the judge. We have to have an army. Um, the Mochipians are already set upon their course, as are the Internum. So, unless we can either A, convince the Internum to attack the judge with us, which as of right now, I have no reason to believe that that is the case. The only logical thing is to free the city. Um, we hear that the Internum people are not happy that the war is continuing, which leads me to believe that they are not willing to just turn around and fight a giant, almost godlike creature. Uh, which means taking this city with the help of the Mochipan army is the only logical solution, because then, with these foes either driven back or outright defeated, us and the Mochipan army can turn our attention towards the judge, which is the only plausible way. There is no defeating the judge with 6 people. That's not how this happens.
I want a persuasion check from that one.
And I get a +2.
Woohoo!
21.
So you're suggesting destroying this army and using the approaching one as a means of defeating the greater threat.
We don't need to necessarily destroy this army. We think if we can take out this queen, we can convince them just to leave. I don't want endless amounts of bloodshed if I can avoid it. That's never been my goal. However, if we do have to just fight them in open combat and beat them, that is what I'm willing to do to take back this city. As unlike with the Internum, we know what the judge is and kind of what it can do, uh, and hopefully we can either bargain with the Empress of Mochipa or persuade her to help our cause. But either way, we need an army, and we are not an army.
Beyond that, the Internum are going to be in the way no matter what. Whether we disband them or don't disband them, we have a lot better chance of taking on something of such great power in the desert without having to have an entire fight beforehand, even if we kind of kill everyone. It's not going to be great on the army that's supposedly coming to help. The Internum are going to fight back if we don't stop them, regardless of whether or not we want to fix the city.
You say that this army is entirely devoted to their queen?
This one.
We think so from what we've heard, but again, we've just arrived and everything we've got has been second or third hand.
And so we should assume that they would follow her every command?
I'm going to say yes, but judging by the morale of the troops, there might be a breaking point, which is where my concern is. Like, conquering a relatively weak foe is tiresome and frustrating, but doable. Asking themselves to march into nearly certain death is another.
Well, perhaps if she were a stronger leader. Well, you've given me a lot to think about. I do sense something, though.
Okay.
Something, I should say, that you might be keeping.
Something I might be keeping.
Something more than knowledge.
Knowledge. A tool. We also received a tool.
I would be very much interested in seeing this tool.
I'm going to reach into my bag and pull out a pen.
A pen or the pen?
My magic pen.
No,
It's fine.
This is what you found.
It's what I found personally.
found it on the ground. Probably garbage.
Oh, her face changed so fast.
It's it may be considered as such to you. It's a possibility. But in the right hands, it could prove very useful.
That's why it's in Hashirte's hands.
Of course. And there it should stay.
We agree upon that.
Listen, my ideal outcome would be having you by my side. I would hope that you would stay that way. But as you said, none of our singular lives are worth the planet.
No. And so while there is a harrowing task before you, I'm afraid I cannot accompany you. I must reserve for one of Ravi's contingencies.
Can you help us get to the upper district?
Oh, that's not necessarily my area of expertise, but Miko can help you.
Bet he can.
Miko can do anything.
Miko will stand on his hind legs and he'll put a paw to his forehead. And
You want to come with us, Miko?
he just meows like, meow.
Yeah. I'm a little head scratches.
He's quite gregarious. Please do be careful with him.
We will protect him with our lives.
I wouldn't go that far. But do your best.
Of course.
Miko runs over to the door and he paces back and forth, rubbing on it.
He put on little kitty shoes and a little kitty coat.
A rain jacket, if you will.
He doesn't need shoots, but he does have a cloak.
Oh, good.
For outdoors.
Najate's gonna hold Alira's hand.
She'll put her other hand on top of your hand. So if you're holding this hand, she's just like,
Yes. Did you have anything you needed to share with me? I do believe I told you what you wanted to hear.
my whole life I have always been prepared to make the sacrifice when necessary. And it has been necessary. So I would urge you to be prepared to do the same. I know you can, Ajite. We've all lost sisters. But it needed to happen.
I trust you. Don't make me take that back. Okay?
Certainly.
I don't know if this is anything of your capability, but we may be more successful with 2 armies if we could somehow get control of this one.
I'm inclined to agree.
I thought you might. Well, thank you. I guess I have to go travel with your cat companion now.
Yes, be careful.
I gotta keep bothering you somehow.
She'll give you the big old smooch.
The smooch.
Smooshy, smooshy.
And then adventure. Let's go forth.
Okay. Well, next time we will go forth. We are now hopefully going to be guided by Miko um, to wherever he's going to go. Next week we've got no D&D. One Piece is coming out. It's important.
It is.
So we will be
It is.
reconvening the week after. I believe it's November 10th.
That's correct.
Okay. That's it for now. See you then.